I've seen a lot of videos on changing guitar strings. It's kind of a mess. Everything from the luthier's knot, which kind of locks your string into place, supposedly to prevent slippage. There's all kind of ways. Don't cut the string till you've got everything on. Cut the string before you put it on. This is how I do it. When I put strings on, when I take them off, which is, in my opinion, the important thing, they should come off. They should come off easily. The problem I have with the luthier's knot is it locks it into place pretty tight, and it ain't going to come off easily. So I'm going to take a second here to readjust the camera to get it to where it's looking at the guitar, and then we're going to go ahead and do some string changing. So this is my Martin SC13, which you guys have probably seen. When I take the strings off and I pull the pegs out, I literally line the pegs up in the holes that they originally came in. That may or may not make a difference, but I do that anyway. So, and when I put the strings in, I put the strings in before I even start dealing with the tuning pegs. And if you can see this, I put a bend right at the top of where the wind is at on the string. Now these are Martin strings. These are the custom lights. They are 11 to 52s. That's what this guitar comes with. So we're going to, oops, wrong page. I put this in, I nestle the groove against the wrapped part, then I push it down in, then I literally go up inside and make sure the ball is up against the bottom surface. I do the same thing telephone calls are irritating. I normally, you can see if I can get this to focus, the ball, I normally bend it so that it's bent in the direction of the round part of the ball, not the flat. Does that make a difference? I don't know. And I literally push it down with the bottom of the peg, making sure the string is in the slot on the peg. Then I go up and make sure that the ball is all the way up against the flat part. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the strings. I'm going to pause this. That's going to take longer than you're going to want to watch. Last string. Kind of looks like a mess. Now the winding on the low E string is obviously thicker because the string is thicker, so it's a little more of an issue when you're putting it inside this slot on the peg. But okay, we have all the strings in place. Okay. 27 different ways to do this. The way I do this, I take the string. First of all, I adjust the tuner peg so that the hole is straight across. not lined up towards the fret board, towards the nut. A lot of people say, well, bring the string up and make sure that the hole is right there. No, I don't do it that way. I put the hole at an angle, direct angle from the fretboard. It's literally straight across from, basically from the other peg. Let me do that. And you'll see why I do that here in a second. Now, I start with the high E string. Some people don't. Okay, sometimes the strings don't cooperate and they break, and that's not good. So, again, put the string, put a little bit of tension back here. If you put your fingers where actually the stud is at, and if you grab it here at the nut and pull it back through your finger, maybe a little further than the fret, the first fret, maybe closer to the second fret, because the thinner string you're going to need a few more wires. So anyway, when you mark this, make sure that you're cutting it in the right place. At this point, what you do is you put it through the peg on the inside. All your strings go on the inside. Pull it back. I don't know if I can get a close-up of this or not. But the string is out. Pull it back until it's not quite flush with the hole. And then, where you're kind of keeping hold of that little sharp part that's sticking out, you don't have to put a lot of tension on it, but then take the string and bend it onto the post. So you end up with something that looks something behind this, you can see it. See that? There you go. You're going to have a bend in it like that. So, then, you simply start winding the string onto the post. Now, some people say go over, then go under. I only go under. I just have never seen the sense of doing the over-under routine. I've never had it slip because I didn't go over and then under. Now, as you can see, at this point, because there's only one string on here, it's not putting any pressure on the neck, so it's actually touching the frets. So that will change. Again, with the B string, hold it all the way out where you've got some tension on it. If you hold your fingers on the top side of the tuning post, grab the string, pull it back about a fret and 2/3 towards the second fret. And where you've got it pinched, that's where you cut it. Same procedure. Put it through the hole from the inside and put a bend on it. I know it's hard to see, but literally you're putting a bend at the post. And again, you're going to end up with this shape. And you start winding. And don't be afraid it's going to slip out of the hole. It should be fine. In most cases, it will naturally go a continuous under wrap. One layer to the other to the other. It's going to be underneath. You're not going to have to worry about it going over the top. With the wound strings, you're normally not going to have to go back as far when you get to the bass strings versus the treble. With the G string, I'm still going to go back the same distance as I did with the B string and the E string. So I've got it at the post, I've got a little bit of tension on it, keep it straight, grab it at the nut, pull it back. Basically, I pull it back until my fingers are touching right here on the inside of that second fret towards the headstock. That tells me the distance is correct. Now, with the wound strings, as I said, because they are a little thicker, you don't normally have to go back as far. So instead of going all the way back 2/3 on the towards the second fret, I'm probably going to go like maybe halfway until I get to the bass string, the E string, and that may be like maybe just past that first fret. Because the thicker the string, it's going to take up more space on the stud. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and finish up the D and the A, and then I'll crank it back up when I get to the last. Okay, so we got the D and the A string on. As you can tell by my pile of cut strings. And this will be the last one. Again, going on the inside and keeping your fingers where you're keeping the string taut. Grab it here at the nut, pull it back a fret and maybe a quarter. And as you pull it back forward, you'll see that's about how far you're cutting it, which is just past the stud for the A string. Which that's one measurement that people use. I like doing it per fret because if you're using different thicknesses of strings, it may give you a different feel. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. Put it in the hole. Bend it. And again, we're going from the inside out. On the 3 treble strings, the inside was inside to out that way. This is inside to out this way. I'll make sure we got that clear. Now with the thicker strings, sometimes you do have to kind of manually scoot the string up because it does have a tendency of drifting down. Tell the buzz on that high E string, because there's tension now on the neck, has pretty much gone away. Alright, so now you can't see this, but my tuner is on the inside of the guitar. Which now you can see it. Handy dandy little thing that always checking for and this is probably old school. That's the sound I'm looking for. Once you've done that, then you need to tug on the strings a little bit to set them. So we're going to do, you're not going to kill it, just pull up on it, kind of pull and snug. Okay, let's find out where we're at now. So, now, is that going to stay in tune from there? No, obviously not, but it is going to help get the strings to where you're not going to have to continually Okay, this is my way of doing this. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just how I do it. And does it work all the time? For me, it has, with the exception of when I put the high E string on, it broke. It must have been defective in manufacture because there was no reason for it to break, but it did. So that's how I put the strings on, and I did this because I've seen so many videos about this. And if you look at how the pegs look, if we can get this thing to focus. You don't have the curlies. You don't have way too much string wound up on there. I don't know why this isn't focusing. But that's how you normally are going to see them come out of the factory. If you order one, you see one hanging on a wall, unless somebody at the guitar center that you go to restrung it. That's pretty much how they're going to look. So, does this help you? I don't know. But this is how I do strings. And that's a wrap.